Democrats are coping and seething over the Trump administration. Altcoin limp-wristed wuss hands are giving up on the idea of ever making money in crypto, while Isaac sits here and prints money on some stupid meme coin he bought this morning that's seeming to do pretty well. So shout out to you, Isaac, on that. What is up, everyone? Welcome in to the show, The Blockchain Basement, where we are not funny and we hate everything. No, I'm just kidding here. I am having the time of my life, and I have some pretty important information to bring you about previous market cycles and exactly how they've operated and performed in comparison to where they are now, and the data is going to absolutely shock you. All of these damn people worrying and wondering if this altcoin season is ever going to happen. Please, for the love of God, stay tuned. I'm here to bring you the truth. But we did cross 64,000 subs, I believe we did. Let's see what we got here. Looking at it this morning, look at us. Look at us go. Look at that little buddy run. 64,000 subscribers right there in the flesh, happening live just before we went live, actually, this morning. First thing it was when we woke up today, we crossed 64,000 subscribers. So shout out to all of the support that you guys bring us and sharing and liking the stream. It means the absolute world to us. You can find me here at Druth Crypto on Twitter. Still cooking northwards. Haven't been rugged on my followers yet. And I don't know. Eventually they'll all go away or something, probably. Isaac, one day you're going to have to put vMix on that computer too, because we're going to have the dual computer analysis. You know what I mean?
Right way to go.
We're going to make that happen after the show, actually. But make sure you're following me on Twitter. And make sure that you are trading with me on Tubit. Use code BASEMENT. Trade with me on Tubit. Link down in the description of this YouTube video. This morning was kind of chaotic. I was looking for a scalp long. No big deal. 40x in and out type shit. Okay. And I was actually pretty well in profit. I was up like 20% just off this week, but I put my stop loss in profit to cover the trade's cost, and wham! Man, right Bitcoin down. Just chose violence, ruins everything that I had that was nice in the short term. But at large, I'm going to talk to you about where this price is in comparison to previous market cycles so everyone can get their panties unbunched, right? Unbunch the panties. Stop worrying so much about things. Lock in. Have a little bit of conviction. You know, for God's sakes, folks, you're in crypto. I'm trading the most volatile asset class on the planet in a live fashion. If you didn't think I have a lot of conviction and reason behind my thoughts, well, you got another thing coming. Shout out to the chat, though. Nicole Minas Teta, Short Round, Laserface, Granny's Garden, Sufficient Enough, The Deadwood, Cali Crypto Dude, Bad Fox, What Up, Lady, Veteran Crypto. I think me and Veteran Crypto are going to be doing a live stream this Sunday talking about the massive administration changes coming to the United States government. Matt Gaetz, Tulsi Gabbard. Oh my God, this world is in for a treat over the next 4 years with America being led by the Dream Team. So we're going to be diving into that this Sunday. Markets, let's just take just a quick glance at the markets here. Where are they at here? Let's pull up. This bad boy tries to act a little slow me sometimes. For some reason, I have CoinGecko. Johnny doesn't, he hates me. Why does he do this to me? So Bitcoin still, look at it. Pepe's at 76% up. Mogcoin, Peanut, the Squirrel, Dog with Hat, Brett, the drunk dude at 7-Eleven, Popcat, the cat with a mouth that's wide open, Cat in a Dog's World, Floki, and Bonk. Literally all animals. And then Satan, Gotius Maximus, all up in the double digits here. You have one basic type crypto, Bitcoin, SV, just absolute chaos out there. But look at that, Ondo. My Ondo bag not doing too bad. Not bad. Radium already popped back up near freaking $5. Holy cow. Litecoin trying to identify as a meme coin these days to save itself from falling into an absolute abyss of downward price action. Will it work? Time will tell. I doubt it, honestly. Say and Sui moving together. This is pretty normal to see. God, Sway and See. Say.
Wait, and
is it Sui and Say or Sui and See? How do you say it?
Say and
They need to change it. I mean, these prices moving in tandem and the names being so close, this is really quite a tongue twister. Something needs to be done about this. But we got a lot of kind of cool Bitcoin news. But first, we're going to look at how Democrats can make it through the next 4 years the easiest way possible. Let's have a listen.
Are you distraught after the recent presidential election? Here at Don't Cry Cryo, we understand your pain, and we're here to help. Our expert team of cryogenic care providers can cryogenically freeze you until the Trump presidency has ended. No more crying, no more anxiety attacks, just blissful sleep until Trump is gone. When you awaken from your slumber, we'll even have a party ready and waiting for you. It will be like his presidency never even happened. It was all just a bad dream. As an added bonus, you can choose the Vance add-on package.
The Vance add-on.
We'll extend your sleep for an additional 4 years at a 50% discount in the event J.D. Vance wins the next presidential election. Everything will be okay. We're here to take care of you in your time of need. So remember, don't cry, cryo.
Remember, don't cry, cryo. Have you ever seen Demolition Man?
No, I have not. Again, you know me and my lack of movies, and
this reminds me of Demolition Man, but instead of a criminal being frozen, it's just Democrats. Well, maybe they're one and the same these days, right? No, I'm just kidding. But am I? Maybe not.
no.
Now, you know what? When Biden won, I acknowledged him as my president. Okay, so why don't you guys, you Democrats, just calm down. It's going to be okay. He's not going to put you in camps. You know, that was Biden's job. He failed because I'm too cool and they can't come get 60 million versions of me spread out across the United States, holding it down on ranches and in mountaintops.
If our tree can grow balls, so can you.
Ooh, that's a good take.
That's a great take.
Do we have a close-up on our ball sack ornament here? Yeah, let's find out. Well, I mean, maybe not.
No, we don't.
I like this set, though. I really like the set. Now, moving into Bitcoin news, Bhutan government sent $33 million worth of Bitcoin to Binance earlier this morning. Could be playing into why we had a dump from Satan's toilet himself this morning. Could be connected to this Bhutan Bitcoin movement. No confirmations on that yet. But look like Bhutan might be getting paper hands. I don't know. They saw the 90K. They're like, you know what? We need some nukes. So we're going to sell this and buy them. Reserve Bank of Australia. Governor Michelle Bullock on Bitcoin. Look, it's not a currency. It's not money. But, you know, I don't really see a role for it. Certainly the Australian economy or payment system. Very, very sad for the people of Australia to have such horrendous leadership locked in at the helm at the top. This is what happens when you don't have the Second Amendment, and there is no worry about the people reclaiming their sovereignty because you're just on an unmovable mountain of power. Now, Australia is going to eventually have to tap out once they see the Bitcoin strategic reserve rolled out by the United States. We're going to see many nation states, NATO organized and BRICS organized, hammering into Bitcoin as a reserve asset to keep up with the United States because that's how the world works. Now, Pennsylvania introduced a bill to create a Bitcoin strategic reserve for the state. Kind of cool to see the states making a move on this Bitcoin strategic reserve before Cynthia Lummis can get her wonderful hands over the United States federal fiscal policy and rolling this into play. Pennsylvania, pretty integral in winning for Trump's presidency. Obviously, we had all the questions about if he truly lost last election, but he's locked it up this time thanks to the Amish. Like the trees inside of Lord of the Rings finally waking up and delivering the death blow to Sauron, the trees, the Amish woke up and hit the polls, and here we are. It's a good time to be alive, folks. And now Bitcoin ETFs are catching up to gold ETFs in total assets in just 11 months. It took 11 months for Bitcoin to start catching up with the entire ETF market cap of gold in less than 1 year. This is absolutely crazy. So gold is at $126 billion for gold ETFs, as you can see. Bitcoin, in less than a year's time, has accomplished an $80 billion market cap valuation within the ETF side. Absolutely crazy to think about. And this guy, BlackRock, stacking their own Bitcoin onto their balance sheet was talking to Hobus and Matt on the Twitter space last night because they actually used to work. I think Matt worked at BlackRock. He gave me some inside info on. It sounds like Larry Fink has been about crypto and pretty excited about Solana, Ethereum, and Bitcoin all the way back to 2021.
Interesting.
That was kind of shocking to me. You know what I mean? But you know what? Now it looks like BlackRock, the entity itself, is also buying and taking part in its own ETF for Bitcoin, smoking their own bag like the crack dealer on the corner of your local Walmart. They have $92 million in their own Bitcoin ETF, IBIT, up from $5.5 million in Q1. Game on. There's Larry Fink getting ready. He's on his plane ride to Israel right now, just feeling great about world domination. Now, public companies must buy Bitcoin to prevent their stock from being sold in preference for Bitcoin. CFOs and treasurers are figuring this out, according to Parker Lewis. He is, let's dive into this guy. Who is this? Gradually, then suddenly, he's an author, the Safe House, head of business development at Zafrite, working on Bitcoin payments. Interesting, Zafrite.com. But I think this conversation is in reference to the Microsoft conversation of adding Bitcoin to their balance sheets as well. And I am not going to be surprised to see Microsoft kind of additionally kick off this massive corporation level FOMO into Bitcoin holdings. Oh, snap. Crypto sunglasses. Nick Diamond Nuts Demandi asking, did I shoot the shoulder cannon yet? I did shoot it, but I didn't shoot it long enough. I need to find a longer range. I want to go out to like 500 or 600 yards with that thing. It is so sick. Shout out to Elevator. Oh my God. 308. Very nice. Very nice. Absolutely love that round. A little heavy. You can't really carry too much of it. You know what I mean?
That's true.
556, much lighter. Much lighter on the 556 side. Oh God, what's that? Let's see here. So we have this. Trump proposing to eliminate all capital gains tax on cryptocurrency issued in the United States to make all American profits made on projects created in the U.S. fully tax-free. This includes projects like Bitcoin, Cardano, okay, Algorand, ugh,
Disgusting.
XRP. Good. You know what? This is an alpha move because there's probably not going to be much gains to tax within these. HBAR, XLM, XRP, and Algorand. But you know what? ADA. I was looking for ADA $3 to $5. We could breach $5 for ADA just given the velocity of the cycle. But a nice move in general to take the gains tax off of Bitcoin and ADA holders. These guys are going to have to work hard to get something that is worth taxing. The inside source claims that the legislation requires the companies to have been registered as entities in the country before having issued crypto assets. This may push the production, like the new crypto companies that want to be startups in the U.S. Like they could be kind of hammering in to come here because this is the financial capital of the planet.
That is very true.
You know, I mean, this actually might be a really good move for what we've seen. SEC has kind of scared off a lot of companies from releasing their products and developing them here in the United States. Seeing something like this, we could see an influx in those companies coming back to the U.S. and actually starting up here. There'll also be a path to relocate businesses with existing crypto assets on the market to the United States. It's almost like asylum. He's offering crypto company asylum right now. This is huge. This is the kind of asylum we need to seek, not the other type that ends up with just rampant crime and degradation of massive city centers. Strategy is part of a broader goal of the Trump administration to make America the crypto capital of the world. Source member of the Trump transition team to make America made crypto companies the most logical investment as U.S. citizens and to be exempt from capital gains. This has a potential to totally reshape the crypto market. Will President Trump turn America into the crypto capital of the world under his administration?
Yes.
I do believe so. Look at that. He's just ready. He wants it all.
All the bit. Oh, whoopsie daisy.
Dude, he is ready for it all. Do you see this? That's like the war face right there. He's going to get it, man.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Now, one thing that comes to mind, there's a lot of people that have plans to go to Dubai and leave the United States. Would you think that those people are going to actually stay in the United States rather than going to Dubai, or are there other political reasons that would push people out of the U.S. at this point?
I think now with Trump being in office, people are going to end up wanting to stay, not go to Dubai, because the next we got Trump, Elon, Tulsi Gabbard. We got all these amazing people coming into power now under the Trump administration. Who would want to leave this?
Yeah.
I don't want to leave this.
Yeah.
Drew doesn't want to leave this. So why would you want to go to Dubai and leave the crypto capital of the world?
Yeah, I just never understood the concept of leaving America behind. It's not in my heart to do so. I would live and die on this continent. That's just the way I am. Now, what we saw here, not only BlackRock buying Bitcoin, but they're also own advisors are buying their own Ethereum ETF in one of the mutual funds. This is reports from Matthew Siegel, highlighting this with Eric Balchunas. More of these Wall Street ETF management firms drinking their own milkshake. You gotta love to see it. Now, $100 billion asset manager Van Eck is saying that Bitcoin price target for the top this cycle is $180,000
more.
In the chat, let me know. Put a 1 if you think that this is accurate and Van Eck is nailing it. 2 if you think that it's going to actually be above $180,000, because I want to know what's in your guys' minds. Have you looked at the potential of breaching $180,000 this cycle? 1 if you think 180 below. 2 if you think 180 or more is actually the top of this cycle. I'm very, very interested in what you guys think on this. I mean, honestly, things are looking pretty juicy. This thing, I was gonna retry the long, but the show was just getting started.
Not logged in.
I'm not logged in either. I might log in on this. I don't know. I'm getting tempted. I don't have all my kind of indicators, and live trading or putting a trade in live is kind of chaotic, but maybe I'll just go on over here. We'll check High Block. Let's just see what High Block is saying on the liquidity
charts.
Your API terminal. What do you do? What is this? Go to the old version. Out of my face. Bam. What in the world is this? Okay.
Rugged.
Yelling at me. 12-hour. It's rugged. Oh no. There we go. Let's see what we here. God, there's actually a nice thick yellow line up here at $92,450. Just a massive sweep of all of the longs. They got completely swept out this morning, and not terribly surprised to see it happen. Something that we need to keep in mind is what's happened in previous cycles. And this is something that's very, very important to look at. So I'm going to start way back when. Okay, we're going way back in time here. This is after the first halving into the second halving of Bitcoin's lifespan. You have just the starting point high right here coming in at about $1,100. The low coming in just about $169. We pump, we go, wow, we're in the moon, and then we fall back down to hill every time. Pull us a little bit wider. And then we start to range and consolidate at those previous highs right here in the 0.786 to 1 range. As you can see, I'll zoom this in. This is historical context for crypto, for Bitcoin. We're on the weekly time frame for the candlesticks. And if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, takes just about 5 weeks. Maybe you could count this as 4 weeks if you don't want to count this final one here. 4 to 5 weeks to blast through this level of Fibonacci sequence, which ranges from 1 to 1.618. So now we're going to fast forward to the next cycle where we start off with the blow off top at 2017. Got to squish this bad boy real low. And we take a look at this bad boy right here. So we have the top coming in right at around $19,500. The low where we go to hell and resurge at 3,100. And as you can see, we have our, again, moment of ranging once we hit those previous all-time highs in the 786 to 1 range. Now, breaking through the same blue marked area of the Fibonacci sequence from 1 to 6.18 takes, in count of weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks to break through this sequence. And again, up only violent, disgusting price action happens through this time frame. And then, of course, the rest is history. I'll kind of, so as to not confuse the colorations here, I'll scoot that a little bit. We squish this down and we can see we do end up hitting that blow off top in the range of 3.618 to 4.236, which ended up being $69,400. Now we fast forward to our current time frame. This is the cycle where you have found yourselves, folks. We start off the beginning point from our previous all-time high, 69,420. Great. We fall to hell with this little ball sack pattern where Drew told you this is the bottom, where no one else would admit that this is indeed the bottom. I took the stand. I was like, no, this is where I put my next massive allocation into crypto, which is indeed what I did. I actually talked to TJ about I was running the board. He asked me, is this the bottom? Yes, it is. So you can keep my face there. Let's keep this. So essentially, we fall from that level, $69,400 down to hell here in the $15,000 range and start building up from there. The thing that was different about this time is that we got an ETF accepted by Wall Street and traditional finance in this time frame, which actually helped jackknife the price back to all-time highs much quicker than historically we're used to. So we spent longer ranging and getting our ass kicked within this range. It's the 786 to 1 level. And as you can see, and I remember very, very well, it was a very painful long time frame, basically from March of 2024 all the way on up till November of 2024. Quite a long time frame that we spent getting our ass kicked. But after that, now we fast forward to our current situation. We have only been in to this Fibonacci level of the 1 to 1.618 for 2 weeks total. And we are already a half. At one point, we were nearly 2/3 of the way through this Fibonacci sequence in just the first 2 weeks of November. And what I see is that we are going to very much so rhyme with previous market cycle experiences. What we're going to see is 2 to 3 more weeks until we break up into this red range, the next Fibonacci sequence. And as history repeats each single time, the price action overshoots that Fibonacci sequence and then comes back down to this 618 level, this 1.618 level, to prove this as the new support. I'll show this to you right here on the previous market. We jackknifed over and we actually overshot this Fibonacci sequence by right about 16%, all the way on up to $34,836. Then we fall back down to it, just under it, prove it as support before we can make the next move into the next sequence. So as it sits right now, I am operating that history will rhyme/repeat, and I feel like we're going to overshoot this Fibonacci sequence by just a touch, maybe get up to $110,000, $120,000, and essentially come back down and prove the higher 90s, mid 90s as our new support before we begin kicking back on up. And I do believe that this time frame will be upon us in the middle to end of January. We're going to see the proving of $100,000 as our new support, and then we get ready for the disgusting continuation of the market at large. And should this Fibonacci repeat itself / rhyme with previous bull markets, as you can see this one played out here, then that lands us to a Bitcoin all-time high price that I'm expecting within 2025 to land between $209,000 up to $244,000 in the upper echelon of this Fibonacci sequence. Boom! There you go. All of the questions and concerns about, oh my God, is the Bitcoin cycle over? I am so sick of these people that are so weak-handed and they don't understand or research previous market cycles to understand how they've worked in the time frames they're within are being right now. Oh my God. They sound so democratic, you know? They sound like they're coping or something. It's just relax. I'm buying altcoins before they go absolutely insane. If people aren't comfortable with that, then you can go buy gold and watch it slowly go up over time and have fun trying to compete with crypto in that regard. Now, on the Bitcoin dominant side, again, people are being lily-livered on the Bitcoin dominant side. Let's have a look. So because I have had some things change on my approach and expectation for this. You have the second halving highlighted June of 2016 right here. You measure it. You can, it depends on which candle you want to call the breaking of Bitcoin dominance, but essentially it goes from 231 days to 252 days is how much time it takes before you see Bitcoin dominance begin to fall off of this cliff and altcoins begin running to the moon. Now you go over here, you look at the third halving time frame, and at this time we had even more altcoins, even more ecosystems in play, which is why you don't see such a flat line. At this point, there wasn't many altcoins in the market that Bitcoin's competing with, and there were many, many more to be dealing with in this third halving time frame. Go ahead and pull the measurement from the halving time frame all the way on up to this candle where things started to get juicy. Depending on where you want to count it, 231 days or 250 days, the same damn thing. And then, boom, altcoins have a heyday. They start moving in tens of exponentials compared to Bitcoin. Angry Bitcoin maxis start yelling at ADA holders and being aggravated that, stupid Solana meme coins or whatever are outperforming Bitcoin. This is where the toxic Bitcoin maximalist is born, on these downswings in Bitcoin dominance and the upswing of insane, stupid gains being made in altcoin seasons. Now we go to our current situation, which I do think that we are looking at a few variables that we have to keep in mind here, but this is the fourth halving. And as it sits right now, we are 203 days after the fourth halving. Okay, so we have to keep this in mind when we're asking when moon, why not now moon? Oh my God, does the moon even exist? Did we ever go to the moon? If you're asking yourself those questions, please stop watching those idiotic conspiracy theories that say that, that the moon doesn't exist. I think that the moon does exist. So I think can we just all agree on that space does exist and the moon does exist?
If we can agree on that, we can agree that we are getting close to where we are about to moon in altcoins. Yes. Okay, again, what was the average was what, 250 days?
Yeah,
230 days. We still have like 45 days to go before we typically see the historical pattern of altcoins pumping around.
Yeah, if it takes 252 days, which is the time frame it's taken previous markets, then we won't expect to see Bitcoin dominance start to give up this control until the end of December. But I do think that we're dealing with something new here. This time is different. This time is different because we have Bitcoin ETFs and these longer term investment agencies and these investors with a longer outlook on holding their assets are probably going to be less inclined to start dumping their Bitcoin to go start playing with their massive bags in the altcoin sector. So I think it's going to take a little bit more time to see this Bitcoin dominance fall off a cliff. And actually, after talking with Matt, the guy that worked at BlackRock and Hobis, they work over there on Wall Street. They got the inside scoop, and they are making it clear and warning me that really we should be looking at more logically the end of January, potentially even into February, to wait for Bitcoin dominance to give up its immense strength that it's gathered up. This is the first time that in Bitcoin's history that an ETF has been available in the United States, the finance hub of the world. We are seeing companies and nation states FOMO into it, nation states along with them. They are not buying to hold for like a 1 year, 2 year hold and then dump it. They are playing generational games here. So it's going to take a little bit longer, and we could, by all rights, see this cook all the way on up to the 65% level. But I am still of the opinion that when it reaches this level, should it hit, God forbid, 65%, all our altcoins are down. Everyone's given up on their Cardano or their Chainlink or their Solana, whatever. Solana people are nuts. You're never going to hear a peep out of Solana people giving up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Solana's on top, and that's exactly why.
Well, and Ethereum is losing less upside velocity because Solana and how good it's been performing, for sure.
Tell me.
But seeing this, I am not expecting to see these altcoins start ripping to the moon until about January, February. We see dominance fall away, and then we get to the NVIDIA conference in March, and the rest of the bull market play out. So everyone just calm down, stack your bags, and be happy that we have more time to accumulate strong projects before these things absolutely take off. And then the Bitcoin maxis will be looking at you like a total jerk. They will hate you. They will call you names, and they will yell at you, and you can laugh. You can laugh and go, ha, ha, ha. Brian Shoots, why am I crushing your dreams? Let me know. I want to know why I'm crushing your dreams. Maybe it'll make me happy why. Now, meanwhile, this is not a bull market. This is a rhino market right now. Look at this thing. Imagine being chased by a rhino. What a problem this would present. God forbid it. Not much you can do without a 50 cal in this situation. You know,
they're pretty slow and have a slow turn radius.
What
I think
the
you'll be
hell,
okay.
bro? Whatever. You see a rhino, you're freezing up, bro.
I'm not freezing because
You're
you can't.
freezing
You freeze, you die. You run, you have a potential of living. Okay, I
Oh
choose
my God.
life over getting railed by a rhino.
I mean,
Pause.
I would still shoot just in case, like the sound worries it enough.
yeah,
But rhinos, man, if they're on it, they're on it. Veteran Crypto bringing up a good point. Hippos more terrifying. Hippos are one of the most dangerous animals on the planet, so that is a good looking out. Veteran Crypto. Price prediction on SWE. Drew, we'll look at that. Willisford. What up, C90 FTW? Been a while, bro. Appreciate you for joining us. Now, Elon Musk and AOC. I think Elon Musk gonna make about 20 more kids with AOC. You
I'm
heard
gonna
it here
gouge
first.
my eyes out after watching that.
No, man,
Sorry.
they're gonna make a great 6-month long couple. You know, in the halls of American politicians, and that would be a good way for Democrats and Republicans to heal. Right? What better way to heal than that? Can't
Gonna
imagine.
end in lawsuits and a bunch of other stuff.
You know, Elon makes him sign some paperwork before getting in the sack, bro. Come on, be real. You know he's got that
yeah, I know.
non-disclosure
That's-
agreement. Come on, man.
He has all of their names and black book.
Dude,
Down so they can't say
D-Gen-
nothing.
D-Gen is ripping as well. Oh man, we're gonna
I
have
don't
to check
care
out.
about it. I
We
don't
gotta
care
check out Swede, D-Gen, and I have a lot of other meme and altcoins we gotta look at. So we got a lot of tokens to look at today. U.S. PPI data came though. Month over month. October actual 2.2% versus 0.0%. Previous estimated was 0.2, so they expected it. Year over year, the actual is 2.4% versus 1.8%. The previous estimates were coming in at 2.3%, so slightly hotter on the price producer index right there on the inflation level for it. U.S. core PPI month over month. October actual is 0.3% versus 0.2 previous, and the estimates were a little bit lower than that. So it's costing a little bit more than companies and organizations, the economy thought it would. No big deal, honestly. This ain't shit for what's coming to us, which, you know what? I'm going to cover right now. Look at this. Look at this graph. We need that. We need Chad Kroger in the soundboard, like built into the soundboard with his hair.
That's possible.
Yeah, we need to make that happen. Now, here's the chart that everyone has to acknowledge now because it's coming true and truer each single day that passes. History may not repeat, but it certainly rhymes. This is EJ Antoni. We've been in lockstep for about a year and a half looking at this data cluster here. Is Trump being handed a ticking time bomb? ? Now, this is CPI, and it's basically highlighted the annual change in CPI, and it's an overlap of two different graphs. The dotted line graph is from 1966 to 1983, and the blue marker colorations here are our current time frames. And what I'm seeing here is that the Federal Reserve is now what you're experiencing in these rate cuts and this momentary sign of softiness from Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve is the same type of time frame that we saw in the 70s to 80s transition into stagflation and 18% mortgage rates. This is the season where altcoins are going to explode, and we need to take all of the advantage humanly possible of these lower rates to buy up homes before we see this CPI data rhyme/repeat with this historical predecessor and jackknife to the north side, making interest rates basically unobtainable for the middle and lower class, and could be potentially the death blow to the middle and lower class, because guess what? The average home is not $50,000 anymore. It's $450,000. So for the love of God, We see the gains on the bags. We see the gains on the books. Please, please have a goal and a mindset in place to know when to take profits and know how to tangibly change your life with crypto. What comes up must come down. Sure, Bitcoin's probably, I don't know. I do kind of doubt that if we'll see Bitcoin reset all the way back down to, the $69,400 level of the previous market high. That is how I've gauged and kind of figured out where to back the truck up on crypto assets in the future bear market. With BlackRock and these nation states holding Bitcoin on their balance sheets, it is a little difficult to imagine that. I hope for a kind of pullback like that. I would love to see a Drew's perfect situation would be to see Bitcoin make it to $200,000 to $250,000 and then just burn and go all the way down to $70,000. I back up the truck once again, fill my bags up once again, have new plans and new goals in mind, maybe a couple more houses, maybe a business. What do you have in mind?
Well, I had a question for you, actually.
Yeah.
I know you originally were talking about not being in crypto during 2026. With Trump now being in office, has that changed?
No, it hasn't.
Okay.
No, I mean, 2026, I still think that Trump is being handed a ticking time bomb economically. This graph right here, should it historically repeat, you know what? I'm going to be sitting in paid off homes, paid off vehicles. I'm going to use all of my cash to buy things outright. I think that inflation is essentially guaranteed from all ends. I don't think that there is any stopping the inflation that will come to the United States. And really, I have no problem getting completely out of crypto, using that money to improve my life in the immediate. A lot of people thought I was a fool for taking all the profits in March of 2024. Who's laughing now, right? No one? Anyone?
Not laughing.
Right? Because I was like, I'm selling Avalanche at $52. They were like, you're selling yourself so short, Drew. What are you doing? I was like, well, I need a vehicle and I need to do some remodeling and I need to build a building. There, I got my building. And now Avalanche is at $20, $30. So the price is reset. I can add more into those positions and then keep compounding the gains as I go. Meanwhile, I still get to live inside of the home that I'm improving with funny internet money. So that's a great time to be had by all. Now, this is from Benjamin Cowan. Alt season is when Bitcoin dominance aggressively goes down. Bitcoin season is when dominance slowly goes up. Bitcoin dominance has been going up for years, which is why it's better to be in Bitcoin than most alts. There is a season where it's much better to be in alts over Bitcoin, I personally believe. Clearly, he's not talking about your alt, just everyone else's alt. What a troll. Unbelievable. But he does great work, and he's just highlighting the Bitcoin season. And this is actually a pretty reasonable approach. I know this is more so of TJ's approach. I've outperformed Bitcoin over the last year just by picking the right alts and then getting out of them at the right time and then reaccumulating. But for the average person that's just wanting to buy and stack and hold, Bitcoin by and large is the way to go. But this does highlight alt season is a massive fall. And it's kind of just basically what I was showing you with this. I really feel like we're going to see this Cowan bubble occur right around, we're going to see another one of these big vertical yellow bubbles occur right around January or February of 2025. And it's going to get stupid. So I'm pretty excited about it. Something on the world news side, it looks like Israeli airstrikes all morning in the Dahieh suburb of the southern Beirut. This is just insane footage. We'll play this here. This is absolutely nuts. We don't really need sound on this one. Right next to an airport, airplane being taxied around and boom, just massive. So just goes to highlight the world at large, still going crazy, and so are our bags. So are Wall Street. So are all of these other risk asset investors. They just don't give a damn, just like last time. Now, this is a good question. How much should a guy spend on a ring? Let's have a look and gander and see what ladies are thinking about, because we got to start thinking about what we're going to spend our money on.
How much do you think a guy should spend on an engagement ring?
I'd say at least like $100K.
Yeah.
Or you could buy an MRAP for $63,000.
I did not see this
And if
coming.
you're not interested in MRAP, you could get a Chieftain main battle tank for $75K. I'd say that's a pretty worthwhile investment. Or if you really feel like splurging, you could get the Leopard 1 main battle tank from Germany, which would cost you $225,000. But if you're going to spend that on a ring, you might as well spend that on a tank. You can do a lot more with a tank than you can with a ring. Also, yes, for those of you that are asking and that are curious, who can own a tank? Yes, tanks are legal in the United States as long as you have a demilitarized main gun.
Sad.
So that means that you can't fire tank rounds
Lame.
for obvious reasons.
You know, one thing about tanks, though, is they won't take half of your shit. So that is something to keep in mind. But you know what? I am going to have a tank and a wife. God willing. She's going to, I'm going to buy the tank and maybe just hide it in the woods and then just not say anything, I think is kind of the move that I'm going to do with this thing. I'm going to try to pull that off. Ryan Schute's been waiting on alt season for way too long. That is that's why I just showed you all that data, Ryan, so that you can know what history has done, what to expect, my brother. I am here for you as you are here for me. Now, what do we got? McDonald's introducing a holiday campaign that offers doodles, apparel, and digital collectibles.
NFTs for McDonald's? Question mark.
So this is two absolutely retarded sectors of life coming together in a marriage from hell, where you can get a new Doodles NFT that can go to zero, and a McDonald's McBurger. What do they call the burgers there? Like Big Macs, right?
Big Macs.
Yeah,
Chicken Big Macs.
You can catch some heart disease while watching your NFT go to zero next bull market. So that's fun.
While drinking tea.
Yeah, this is insane. Look at this. The Don Alt is just trolling. He says, Jesus Cristo, we're looking at Litecoin to Bitcoin valuation just falling off a cliff. Don Alt is just an absolute savage when it comes to shit posting on crypto projects. And we have a lot of crypto projects that I actually want to look at here. Don't pull up this. I want to go through my list here. So first one, what is this that you bought this morning, Isaac?
I bought Cybert with, last night, I got a message from one of my mutuals on X. I'm not going to dox him, but he told me that one of the top holders of Peanut, who had over 43 million tokens, Peanut, had aped into Cybert. That was at $1.1 million market cap. I got in at 1.9 the next morning, and we are climbing right now.
Look at this.
I'm looking at the chart right now.
7.2. Pull it up.
7.2 milli market cap.
You got a nice lock liquidity amount here, 422K. It's the first clone-born animal, so that gives it a nice meta.
Me and Nicole were meme coin degenning all morning since like 8:30 this morning. We were like texting back and forth on X, showing each other meme coins.
So what's your exit plan on this? Because I mean, you've seen so far it's climbed up to $11 million market cap just so far. Do you have like a level of market cap that you're looking to take a portion of it off the table? How much money have you made off of this thing so far, etc.?
I've made about $200 off of this so far. I only put $100 in this morning. When it dipped down to $6.4 million market cap like a couple minutes ago, so I bought $15 more just because I had extra.
Really?
And
you're leaning into it.
Oh yeah, I'm leaning really heavily into this, and then I'll start taking profits around $50 million market cap and leave my moon bag, because if a top peanut holder is holding this thing, and this is the first clone-born animal, like more into the animal meta, I could see it going up to like 500 million. Possibly, if I get lucky, we could ride this thing to a billy.
Yeah, I mean, you see the top gainers. It's basically a zoo right now. Bobcat. Look at this retarded trend line I drew. Man.
Buy
it
now, Drew.
This is my
you
moment.
You said when you hit that line, you would buy.
It is. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to do it. Fine. You know what? It's happened. That'll be so ridiculous if it bounces off this trend line.
It just goes.
Fine. Bobcat, you know what? You came down to the level I was looking for. I'm going to pick up some of this stuff. Why not? Let's go look at Fred the raccoon. See how he's doing. I know Peanut breached like $2 or something insane like that. For the first convicted raccoon
Up only.
Dude.
This is like, what was it? When we're looking at the Fibonacci charts, it's like 4 weeks.
Oh my God! This was this a bull flag? Question mark.
Bull flag on Fred the convicted raccoon.
From like a TA, it does look like it's coiling up right now, getting ready for another move. As chaotic as that sounds, now Fred the raccoon, $243 million market cap. Really retarded things are happening in crypto. People are making a lot of money, and I'm here for it. So shout out to that. There are a couple other projects that we got to look at here. Let's see. So we got Seabird, Fred. Let's see here. Doge. I want to check this one out. So this is the Ethereum version of Doge, and it looks like it's pulling back in a pretty decent manner. So here's my approach on this project. I'm going to see if I can catch this shelf. A violent pullback before the actual official news announcement and news conference for Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, leading up the Doge Department of Governmental Efficiency. Now, on other altcoins that I'm feeling good about, I was talking to the boys last night. They had a couple that they had brought up to me that sound like pretty interesting plays here. Research Coin. This is a DeSci play. This is backed by Brian Armstrong, and it has a larger conversation happening right now. And what I've seen is CZ, Vitalik Buterin, in a post highlighting decentralized science and decentralized science projects. So I think that what is going to actually, start to kick into play is massive moves within the DeSci sector. This one, Research Coin, not too escaped from its original price. It's at a $54 million market cap. You can't quite see that. I'll make this a little bit smaller so I fit in here. Let's pull that right there. Yeah. So you see it's a $54 million market cap. Only 10% of the supply out currently. So we got to keep that in mind. But at large, I want to get some access to DeSci plays. This one sounded like a sneaky, sneaky little one. So I'm interested in picking up a small bag of that. Scallop. Now, God, I can't remember if it was, I think it was SWE. It was on SWE. So this is kind of like an auxiliary SWE play. And I believe, let's go to the website here, because I looked into this last night and done all this research, just kind of pinpointing these things. It's new standards for institutional grade quality, seamless composability, and robust security. That was a bunch of $50 words. SCA token is its total value locked is 174 mil, and total supply and deposits are coming in at 257 mil. So a higher level of total supply and deposit compared to the value locked. Kind of interesting note there. And really, this is kind of one of those small lending protocols that I think might actually have a pretty fun upside to be explored here. Looks like they're using the Oracle of Pith for their actual price fees right there. So kind of an interesting play. But Scallop is a new project on my radar that I'm liking the dip on it. And I like to kind of snoop around and speculate on these things before the fun times happen. Cetus Protocol. Here is the top DEX for SWE. And this one, overall, it's had a big move. I know me and Hobus were talking about it, and he actually built his bag at 17 cents right there. We're at 37 cents right now. And I really don't think that we have seen even the beginning of the amount of money that's about to flow into Solana and SWE and the rest of the layer ones and the ecosystems under them. This one's at a $220 million market cap. So Cetus on my radar. I love my auxiliary DEX plays on protocols where all the money is moving to. And then Centrifuge. We're going to look at Centrifuge. It's tied into the RWA sector. Pretty undermentioned, undiscovered big piece of RWA at large. And one thing to keep in mind here is circulating supply is 500 million tokens, and the total supply is 556. Nearly the entire supply is out. Getting the whole supply out has, changed the dynamics of how this market cap to price have interacted. But now there's not too many tokens left to release into circulating supply, so this will have leveled out. We're currently at $148 million market cap on Centrifuge, And I feel like this one is in a buying opportunity personally, just because the narrative of RWA is about to kick in a disgusting way. So really like finding these things before they go nuts. And another one that's still on my get list. I know I'm still continually buying more Moonwell, but Alien Base. Let's see where this bad boy is. How big of a pullback do we got on Alien Base? This is a DEX within the base ecosystem. We got a nice pullback today. This is good to see, actually. Yeah, look at it. It's trying to build its little healthy shelf here. The bottom end of the shelf, whence it's being built, is sitting at 24 cents. That would be a nasty grab. But honestly, it's only at 29 cents right now. It recently spiked up to 45 cents before this massive price retracement and finding its new home of support. There's another one we looked at that we are holding currently, but it's lost. It's trying to find a level of support. Was it Drift?
Yeah, it was Drift. Drift lost its $1.20 range. The lowest it went was like $1.13.
Dude, I'm so glad I took my damn profits of $2. Jeez.
Yeah, I aped it into Soul, and part of that was put into my Cybert play. But tomorrow, yeah, you will see me accumulating more Drift at these levels. This is a juicy pullback that I was looking for.
$1 is pretty psychological too. Like the closer we get to $1, I mean, it looks like it's just on a road to hell. $1 sits at the top of this original pump to moment. Don't be surprised if it comes back down to $1. But you know what? I really don't think that this thing is in takeoff mode yet either. I feel like Radium, Drift, and Jupiter are strong auxiliary Solana plays that I can be leaning into for where we are currently in the market, and I'm feeling damn good about that. Now let's look at the larger market. Swell Network?
Yeah, David Middleton brought up Swell pumped us yesterday, sold most of his bags, Swell pumped and dumped. Don't want to take a look at this.
Let's check it out. Now it's at 3 cents. Look at this. 3 points. Ooh. Ooh. Holy cow. Look, that's like a boner in the middle of the Saharan desert. Just absolutely out there. This is interesting to see. This is a weird chart pattern. What is this? It gives you little notes listed on BitThumb for spot. OKX listed it. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, this price graph is acting very, very oddly. Let's go into the website. Let's see what's going on. Let's do a little bit more looking at this. Restaking yield layer, stake and earn, build with Swell. Something about Swell, the word, makes me feel uncomfortable. You know, it's like swell, man. Swell, buddy.
Swell up, just like that little pump yesterday. It was a little bit of a swell.
Yeah, kind of weird. What the hell is this? Swell activates L2 DevNet. Let me see here. Who's the team? They dox themselves. This is me just doing live research. I want to make sure that like I track the projects that I'm looking at pretty closely here. We got 100,000 followers. We got Turtle Wexler Nova. He's following all kinds of degenerate picks here. Let's see. Proof of stake flywheel. Boosted yield towards Swell. I don't know. I'm going to need to look into this a little bit more before I make any decisions on that. Let's look at the broader, kind of larger caps. I want to look at those. So we're going to look at, here's the winners. Caspa didn't die. Bounced off 10 cents. Now it's at 15 cents. Congratulations. All the Caspa holders. That's huge. H-bar. Oh my gosh. You're at 6.5 cents. Better go tell mom. And XRP. Okay. So XRP up 7% on the day.
Short it.
Pumping. Dude, should I? Because every time. I mean, it's starting to get past that 70-cent level, but every single time they get near the 70-cent realm, things just get violent on them. Here is the previous 70-cent realms. It basically pumped up to about 75 cents here before dying. Right here, it pumped up to 74 cents. I guess you can technically count this as a higher high if you're counting from March of 24 till now. And it is slightly higher than November of 2023. man, XRP might be trying to get to this level. You had a bunch of people panic buying XRP when it won that secondary market. Sales of XRP are not securities. So you're probably going to run into more selling pressure there. And Ripple's probably unlocking a massive chest of their own tokens because they own 80% of the supply to dump onto their holders to make sure that they can't experience nice things. But 7% on the day. Good job. Now, DGen. Let's see here. 26% on the day for DGen. Damn. This is a base meme token. Taco was talking about it. I know he was talking about some kind of controversy they had going on over the last few weeks, but honestly, that doesn't seem like it's affected the price very much at all. DGen token coming in at 2.3 cents, up 146% on the month, which honestly is really not that much for a meme coin. Meme coins, they go up real hard, they go down real hard, but it's already at a $336 million market cap. It makes me a little iffy on wanting to buy it. It's just now getting into kind of the green zone. This is where all the believers were buying more and more of this token before it fell into the trenches of hell. And now you will experience some selling of the people that are able to cut at zero loss on these original buys, because this came out right in March of 2024. Well, everything was going to the moon and it had nothing special about it, just that it was another coin that was pumping out, and it pumped with the rest of the market. Then it falls back down. The getting is hard, and you're probably going to see some sells coming about this level of 1.7 cents up to 3.2 cents. So keep that in mind if you are indeed in that project. Probably going to keep moving up, but there will be turbulence along the way. Now, what's on sale that I could take advantage of? Crow token. Okay. Down 10% on Crow token. Bitensor Tau, another excellent project. Down by 10%. ENA, this is an RWA play. Down by 9%. Aave at $164, but it is down by nearly 9% as well. Not touching Gala with a 10-foot pole and wish you would die and go to hell. Starknet. I don't know. I don't really like Starknet. I'm not interested in Starknet at this point. Either. Polygon, not going to do it. Here's the Xmatic Paul. No. Arweave, $16.80. Now, this might be something that's worth just consistent DCAing into for myself. I like the Arweave project. Jupiter, still holding above $1.12. Look at that. Jupiter, just consistent. You know what I mean?
Gotta love it.
Very consistent. Let's see where Jupiter's at. It's down by 7% on the day. That must have meant that we did pretty good over the last few days, man. Pumped to $1.30. Not bad. I miss these 70-cent buy-in, back your truck up moments here. Now I need to look at this thing and where's the new back the truck up moments at for my own portfolio strategy on my Jupiter bag here. I don't know if we're going to be getting this 70-cent mark once again. And it would likely be testing this 98-cent, maybe 95-cent range, kind of the top end of this channel, more likely than not. So about 90 cents. I'll upgrade my back the truck up moment for Jupiter to 90 cents at this point from where we're at in the market, because I got to be building my bags of auxiliary Solana plays. So, man, that was a lot of stuff.
That was a lot of stuff.
We covered a lot of projects.
A lot of alpha there too.
Yeah. And you know what? When people are asking you, is the alt season just canceled? Is Bitcoin going to be the only cryptocurrency available in 2025? Did I screw up by buying Chainlink or Cardano, Solana, or all these other tokens? Just share this video, like this video, so that more and more people can get the alpha. And then when they finally tell you, hey, guess what? I bought some Bitcoin, then send them a link and send them the code BASE20 to get 20% off your own cold storage wallet for crypto, so you can turn into your own bank. You can exercise the ultimate power. The whole reason why Bitcoin has made it this far is because it brings sovereignty to the person. It takes out the middleman, the banking institution with their little fee in between spots. This is our chance to become our own banks, and you can exercise that ultimate power. Click the link in our description and use code BASE20 to get 20% off of one of these bad boys right now, and give your friends some awesome Christmas gifts that just might change their life forever. Go ahead and do it. I appreciate every single one of you out there for joining me on the show. We got Isaac over here buying just insane meme coins. Good on you, man.
Gotta love it.
You're making moves. I love to see it.
I need to make some moves. It's about time we start making good money over here.
Absolutely, man. I love to see it.
Also,
and now it's time to go hit the bag. Time to get ready. And I believe Taco Show is on soon.
It is on. The redirect is already set up. That's why I went over to the computer over there. So go show Taco some love. Go show the DGen Alpha some love on his stream. Love you all. Until next time.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.